Hi, welcome to the Midday Report. A little bit before the actual midday here, but pretty close. I am at Ormond by the Sea, a little bit north of Ormond Beach, which is a little bit north of Daytona Beach. And the media is doing what the media does, and trying to make Trump look bad, as related to the Comey firing, which should have been maybe done long ago, but certainly was justified. And so they had their typical bubbleheads out there and the usual suspects making Trump look bad. So let's prepare ourselves for that and get the analysis of someone brilliant. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about, I go to him frequently, Carl Denninger. Marketticker.org, market and ticker have a hyphen between it. I put the link up there. You can probably get used to it. You're probably used to it by now. All right, let's read what he writes. His most recent thing from this morning, just about 2-3 hours ago, called The Firing of Comey. And if you sit through this and maybe 2 comments on it that people posted, I picked the good ones. Actually, there only were 2 comments on it that Carl Denninger had screened through. If you sit through that, we'll take a little beach view and maybe walk through the ocean. But you got to earn it, right? Okay, The Firing of Comey by Carl Denninger. The left side scream fest on Comey's firing is amusing. Let's look at this, and what I've said before on Comey and the email issues. First, for the FBI director to issue what amounts to an indictment in public, and then recommend no indictment, that's with Hillary last summer, is something that I had never seen before, and said so. That was clearly a political decision, not a law enforcement one. You simply can't lay out all of the elements of a criminal offense, which I remind you, Comey did, and I reported on at the time. And then say, and then say, but no reasonable prosecutor would bring a case, and have that be anything but politics. That standing alone was enough to get Comey canned. And Obama should have done it instantly, but he didn't. What appears to be icing on the cake, however, was Comey's apparent false testimony that Huma forwarded hundreds or even thousands of classified emails to Weiner. He made that statement under oath and was forced to retract it in a letter. Apparently, the truth is that there were only a couple. Why does this matter? Quite clearly it does. There's a huge difference between accidentally doing something and intentionally and maliciously doing it. Intentionally feeding an uncleared person classified information, which is exactly what Comey's testimony sounded like, coupled with a failure to recommend an indictment of Huma, was a clear declaration of political interference with law enforcement. As it turns out, that wasn't what happened at all. Was that likely responsible for accelerating or simply confirming a decision already underway? Yes, I believe that's exactly what happened. There is an extremely serious issue in the FBI today when it comes to political interference with law enforcement. We saw it repeatedly during Obama's term, fast and furious, which resulted in multiple deaths, including one of our own border agents and countless Mexican citizens, yet led to no charge. A clear and apparent violation of the law when it comes to Hillary and her staff, which also led to no charges, and more. Nowhere is this more serious in terms of its economic impact, however, than in the, as advertised, I said I would bring this into it, healthcare arena, where it is my considered opinion that literally hundreds of thousands of violations of 15 U.S.C. that deals with antitrust and unfair trade, or I forget which one it is, are committed daily by actors in that sector, and yet not one investigation, say much less prosecution, has taken place. Is this all at the feet of Obama? Hell no. The FBI has ignored that issue for a literal 30 years. Never mind what certainly looked to me like bank fraud when it comes to all the robo-signing and other games played with deeds and records, all of which was intended to and did induce banks to make loans and sell paper that in fact were worthless. Comey had to go, and that he kept putting his schwanz in his own mouth on national television was a national disgrace, repeated time after time for anyone who cared to look. That doing so screwed this person or that, depending on which day it was, doesn't surprise. Is this the dawn of a new age when it comes to the FBI and its leadership? I doubt it, but at some point you have to take the clumsy political hack and cut his head off on television, even if the only thing you do to replace him is find someone else who's a political hack, but can engage his brain first. And then here are a couple responses. First response. This has been a long time coming. Comey should, as you said, been fired a long time ago for being part of the political cover-ups. I'm betting the NYPD was jumping for joy when he got canned yesterday. What they apparently got off Weiner's computer was a treasure trove of corruption and pedophilia throughout the New York and Washington, D.C. elites, media, and bureaucrats, state and federal. Comey's FBI was threatening the NYPD to stop all their investigations involving the Clintons and Wieners. It was now a federal case. Comey had been stonewalling Wienergate from the beginning to protect the Clintons. I'm wondering if Bill and Hillary are now on suicide watch or looking for a place to move without an extradition treaty with the U.S. I doubt it. Maybe the swamp will start to get drained now that the FBI gatekeeper is gone. And the second of the two comments. You only read part of this, it's long. Read it before. I read Sessions' letter, which was to recommend firing based on another letter from an assistant AG who had solicited opinions from the AGs from the past. Comey's decision was based on the idea Lynch wouldn't prosecute. Then Comey made the decision for her. Even Holder offered an opinion Comey had violated his position and overstepped his bounds. He took on authority he didn't have. His reasoning, based on his testimony, was compared to robbing a bank. The bank robber had a gun, stuck it in the face of the teller, took the money, but claimed he didn't mean to have a gun. Thus he really didn't rob the bank. I like that analogy. The Russian story is one that was at least 99% made up. It is a smokescreen created by the DNC, Obama, Hillary, Podesta, and adopted as the primary means of attack to derail Trump. There is absolutely no evidence that the Russians hacked the DNC. The Trump campaign official under investigation was in the Ukraine, doing the same thing the Podestas and Biden's son were doing, pirating the country. The IMF was on its way, and there was going to be a fire sale of property and influence. Comey was dragging out a fake narrative. Trump needs to do some more firing. I suggest they investigate the ties of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to the Russians. There are piles of evidence against the Clintons and Podesta, hundreds of millions made off influence peddling. I don't know a soul who voted for Trump because the Russians interfered, yet Hillary had a chance because the top U.S. law enforcement agencies dropped the ball and looked the other way. Why not look into the connection between the Clinton campaign and the Soros PAC that raised and spent seven-figure donations for her? Soros needs to be investigated, as he is involved in destabilizing governments around the world, including ours and Ukraine. These crimes are in plain sight, not some rumor that after 6 months is kept alive by Obama leftovers in the intelligence agencies. The evidence on the hackings have been disputed by experts, put out there only by the DNC. In the meantime, the emails reveal what a lowlife Hillary really is, how little she thinks of the common man, and how rigged the final presidential election process is. Sit and watch how true organized crime works as they destroy Trump, who wasn't in anyone's plans as it pertains to the process. I will throw in one other thing. Make that two. Carl, that's Carl Denninger, keeps drumming the healthcare legislation and lack of action on the industry. The Democratic Party is at least honest in the sense they want to use healthcare to enslave us. The Republicans take no such moral position, yet can't come to grips with a different solution. Private healthcare costs because the government brought the bureaucracy into the industry and destroyed the nonprofit structure of many hospitals, turning them into organized crime syndicates for the various bureaucracies. Take away insurance and some nonsense FDA regulations, and pharmaceuticals become affordable by most. The entire mess is created by government, and it is now clear the swamp for this matter exists in both houses of Congress and in the majority of both parties. The debate is merely posturing for more central control. It is time to get rid of the U.S. government involvement in health. Just 2 more paragraphs, then we'll take a quick view around the beach. The other issue is the climate change agreement. If Trump doesn't reject this issue, then he will no longer have my support, and the issue of economic freedom is dead. This is the back door to a worldwide socialist economic system based largely on fraud. There is no proof, nor is there even logical evidence. The science is the same as we were given years ago on heart problems. I don't know what he's referring to there. The real evidence is that if it isn't historically warm, nor is CO2 at historically high levels. We are at an all-time historical level of crisis in modern times. The party is over and the deck chairs are being rearranged to save the establishment, at the cost of the common man. We are being set up to eat each other while the elites stand to the side. Don't give up your guns. Thank you for listening through all that. And instead of turning it off, I think you deserve a reward. How about a little trip through the beach? All right. You know, one thing, if you watch this frequently, the beach doesn't tend to look a whole lot different from place to place. So be it. Okay, but the ocean's particularly nice right now. I think it's low tide and it's very calm, not windy, so you get better sound quality than usual here. And we get a close up of the bird. There's a little sandpiper there. I don't want to get too close. Cool little guy. There we go. Sandpiper watch. Any pelicans around? I don't see any. Some little sandpipers. That's about it. That's where I do my business here. If James Comey is looking for a nice spot to go, I recommend this. Maggie Farnsworth, you wrote Azure Blue Ocean. Not really. It's more of an emerald color. I think that's just the way it's coming out. But oh no, I have sunglasses on. My bad. Yeah, I guess it's more aqua. Sorry, I had sunglasses on. Nah, it's still more green. I wouldn't quite call it Azure Blue, but I don't know what Azure refers to, so maybe that's a more aqua-ish kind of blue. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching.